So, all right. Well, what else is in the hopper? Whether it's Outbreak or something else, is there a news story or something else that you wanted to throw out there real quick and kind
Yeah,
of chew up some time?
yeah. Actually, there is. Trying to think of his name. I don't think it was nearly covered enough. Richard Blumenthal, I think that's his name. He's a senator from Connecticut,
Connecticut. Yep.
and I guess sometime before the holidays, like mid-December, he went to a organization to give out some awards and give a short little spiel. Um, and the organization is associated with the Communist Party.
Oh yes, here it is.
Yeah, and so he took a lot of criticism for it, um, and he later said, "Well, he shouldn't have done it." But he had to know what he was dealing with, and I guess what kills me the most is that a U.S. senator, a United States senator, would be speaking favorably at a Communist Party rally. That's just, and nobody is like,
Right. So forget about just the fact that the lack of vetting or effort to make sure who he's speaking to. The fact that what he's saying would align with the audience and be acceptable. What I hear you saying, right?
yeah. It's like, why isn't everybody all over this, uh, regardless of political party? I mean, if it was if it was Trump at a Nazi rally, you know what I'm saying. So it's I don't know why it's sliding a lot,
Right. If he
but
showed up to do, and this is well, this is what he said. He goes. My understanding, the ceremony was strictly a labor event. If I'd known the details, I wouldn't have gone. So this would be like saying Trump goes to a populist event. It turns out to be a bunch of neo Nazis and white supremacists, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't know that's what it was." But the fact that your topic and your approach and everything you're saying is met with that crowd and acceptable is really should really be scary. Like you're talking
yep,
about, he was talking about voting rights. He was talking about the pandemic. He's talking about affordable health care, lowering prescription drugs. If these people are cheering all this, and this is a communist party, it does kind of show you a lot about where this senator's talking points are. That's kind of what I think you're saying.
yeah, and the guy's not the brightest bulb on the tree, but remember, this is the same dude that when he was getting into office, I don't know, over a decade ago, he lied about he was a Marine reservist, and he lied about being at Vietnam, and he never left the States, and he still got elected. So I don't know what's going on in Connecticut. This guy's a real cheesy dude, and yeah, and
I'm
the
surprised.
fact,
I'm surprised that the leftists haven't targeted him because he seemed very establishment. But again, if he's pleasing the Communist Party,
yeah, yeah, and I
it
watched a
shows
little
where they
video.
are. It shows where they are, and that's a little
Well,
scary.
I watched
A lot scary.
a video on a tweet. I think it was about that particular issue, and showed his little speech. And the person that was introducing him, communist, came out of her mouth, every other sentence. So
Yeah.
there's no surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
he can say whatever he wants. He's just a real really slimy guy, and he's got some really bad ideas
Yep. That's
and
yeah,
and
that's
too much
interesting.
power.
Well, it shows kind of what we talked about a while ago too, was that the move to the far left is not like being exaggerated. Like there is really some crazy characters. People talk about the squad and all that, but if you have Richard Blumenthal being invited and speaking openly and being well received at a communist party event, and then he kind of only like softly backpedaled it as we read. It was like, well, I thought it was this and this and this, and this is what I talked about. I'm like, okay, well, that's
It,
not relevant to the
yeah,
problem is here.
and it wasn't voluntarily backpedaled. He
Well,
backpedaled
of
because he
course
was
not.
right. So it'd be one thing. It's like, hey, he realized that a light bulb went over his head and said, "Hey, this is a communist event. Let me talk my way out of this." No, he had to take a lot of slack from the media and whoever. Yeah.
But again, the slack is very slight because COVID consumes all the air in the room.
Yeah.
It was during the holiday month. So if he's going to make that kind of blunder, yeah, I mean, he might have someone challenge him, put him in the task for that, but nothing's going to come of it. You and I both know that.
No, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Hey, we're News Talk with Brandon and Bob. We're here to tell you about some of the facts so you don't have to waste your time watching CNN.
We don't want you wasting any time with CNN.
Or Fox or MSNBC or some of these other guys that are making a whole lot of money.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Not paying.